Hello and welcome to Good Journeys Tarot. I'm Rosemary, and today I am doing week 3 prompts of Tarot Vlogmas from Papa Squirrel. Um, I had planned to do another video like the last two where I shared a process as I did something for the holidays, and I'm just not feeling it. You ever have one of those days where like every tiny thing happens the wrong way, so that you are just frustrated with it all? Well, that's today. And so, yeah, so I am not always bright eyed, bushy tailed, and happy. And you're going to see that today. So, one of my frustrations is that I put my cards up here to create a background several weeks ago after Thanksgiving. And I cannot get any camera positioned in a way that the backdrop will fill up the space. It's so frustrating. The other thing that is frustrating that I've been working on, and if you guys have a solution for this, let me know. But I cannot figure out how to use multiple cameras with um, StreamYard. For some reason, every time I use my second camera, I get an echo even though the second camera has no microphone and the volume is muted on that device. And it's really driving me crazy because I'd like to be able to do better videos than I can. So those are some frustrating things. Speaking of Christmas cards, they have started to come in, and one I thought I'd share with you is this one. It is actually from Laura Perry, who is the creator of the Minoan Tarot from Schiffer. So if you haven't checked that out yet, do go and do that. And it's a simple card, but I happened to get it this week and I thought I'm going to share it with you. She is a friend and mentor of mine, and so it's always great to hear from her. And then I also got one from my childhood neighbor, and it's just a standard Christmas card. Um, and so, yeah, well, our prompts for today, ta-da, the prompts. Um, Number 15 was sleigh. How has the chariot impacted you this year? Well, for me, the chariot, is that card of like um, maintaining control, right? You're headed in a direction, but you have to hold the reins, right? Because otherwise, it's going to go in its own direction, and you want to keep it on the path that is right for you. And so, in fact, the chariot came up for me this week in my week ahead spread that I do over on Instagram. And um, and I can relate it to this year because I started this project, the 78 cards in 78 weeks, and that has continued to go on. And I'll be continuing to work with that even in the new year. Snowball, what do you protect? So I'd say, and it kind of relates to this whole video today, and my experience with it is that I've always been very protective of my image, like how I present myself to people, and I'm much less so than I ever have been. I'm actually letting go a little bit, and letting you see my rough edges a little bit, so to speak. There was a time where I wouldn't do a video without makeup, and fixing my hair. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm lazy today. I'm just going to pop on the live and answer the questions and do it, right? Um, so, carols, what song brings you joy and why? I have always loved Jingle Bell Rock. When I was a kid, we had this album that tells you how old I am, right? And it was an album, not a record, but an album. It had 10 songs on it for Christmas. There were five on one side, five on the other, and one of the songs was Jingle Bell Rock, and I used to drive my mother insane. I would play it over and over and over and over as I would dance around the Christmas tree, and I still love that song to this day. A lot of fun. Stocking. Who or what do you cling to? And that's day 18, um, or prompt 18. And I'd say that, you know, mm, who or what do I cling to? I don't know. My first thought was my mom. She's like the one person who's always there for me. And so I try my best to always be there for her. Um, and then 19, which holiday do you celebrate? Well, strictly speaking, I don't end up celebrating any holidays. I mean, I do like decorate for the season, and I occasionally, when we actually can get out of our houses, will go to events with my friends. But personally, I it's every day is just another day. I try to do something reflective for solstice usually. Um, and my family celebrates Christmas, so years when I'm going to see them, I'll celebrate with them. But I pretty much just kind of celebrate a season of reflection. So I might join my Jewish friends for um, a Hanukkah activity, or I might join my um, neighbors for Diwali, which happens this time of year, depending on the year. Um, and so it could be one of any or all. Um, Frosty or Santa? Do the holidays make you feel cold or joy? And I'd say neither. For me, the holidays are more like neither Frosty or Santa, but more like merry. Um, uh, in that, I ponder things during this time of year. It talks about how she pondered these things in her heart in the story about Jesus, and so that's kind of my take on this holiday season um, each year. So, what traditions do you have during the holidays? So, there aren't a lot of things that have lasted like my life, but over the last several years, since I've been in this house at least, there are some things that I do regularly, particularly since I tend to be on my own for the holidays now. Um, but one is that I like to enjoy what I call a figgy Manhattan. And so instead of cherries, I actually use the whole fig preserves my mother makes, and a little bit of the syrup from them in the Manhattan, and it's really nice. But I also, on Christmas Day, I usually put together a puzzle. This is the puzzle I bought for this year. That's the way it goes. And so I'll put it together Christmas Day, just to have something to do, because usually there's not a lot on television, or I'm televisioned out by that point in the holidays. And but I'm not one of those people who like glues the puzzle together and puts it on the wall or something. I'll put it together, I'll look at it for a couple of days, and I'll put it back in the box and do it again in another year or two when I've um not when I don't have a new one, or, something like that. Last year I made one of those that the pieces are actually animals, and they fit into a puzzle that is the shape of an animal, and it was a fox. Um, this is actually a puzzle I've looked at for several years, and I just finally got around to grabbing it this year. And our and that is our last prompt for today. Wow, I flew right through those. So, I hope that you've enjoyed getting to know me and my holidays a little bit. And thank you for watching this in playback. I am trying to enjoy some hot chocolate in my hot chocolate mug. It's huge. It says ho, ho, ho right there. Mm. And I did this whole series of videos where I was making the hot chocolate. And I just decided I'm lazy today. I'm just going to do what I have done. So until we meet again, everybody, good journeys and happy holidays.